Hi, this is Donna Walsh. In today's Delavo Live session, I'm going to be talking about questionnaires and surveys. I'm going to talk about why you want to be using a questionnaire or a survey. I'm going to show you how to set up a questionnaire. I'm going to show you how to add items to the questionnaire, how to attach a questionnaire to a product. Then I'm going to show you how to set up a survey, how to add questions to the survey, and then how to add the survey to the thank you page. And then I'll talk about a lot more. Just a little side note here, both questionnaire and surveys do show up on the thank you page. For the survey, you have to actually put in a tag into the survey interface in order to get it to show up on the thank you page. But currently, the only way that you can view a questionnaire or a survey is on the thank you page. Okay, let's go to Delavo. And when you log in, you'll come to this screen. It says, welcome to set up a questionnaire. You go to Stores Questionnaire. A survey is in Plugins all the way down here for plugin surveys. I'm going to show you them one by one, so let's start with questionnaires. Click on the questionnaire link, and a new box will open up where you can add a questionnaire. So click on the Add New button, and my computer is running slow. And you come to here. So here is the title. This says New Questionnaire, so you want to name it whatever you want to. You want to give instructions to the customer about filling out the questionnaire. Maybe you want to tell them something like, please answer all the questions. I can't help you unless you help myself. Unless you tell me what you want. It depends on what you're going to actually ask for in your questionnaire. I personally like to use a questionnaire to ask people what they want me to produce in a new product, or to give me feedback on a product I've already set up that they're customers of, or just in general to find out what people were wanting on the internet, which is a really good thing to do, especially in your niche, because you want to know what people want so you can create the product that they're looking for. If you know what people want, you can be specific and laser targeted to their needs, which will make it much easier to sell your product to them. So do use a questionnaire to get the feedback that you need to run your business well. So right here in the instructions given to the customer, just give them the instructions that you want them to know, like answer the questions, and to give me the feedback, because I want to help you and I can't help you unless you tell me what you want. Or you could even use the instruction area to say, once you return the questionnaire, once you submit the questionnaire, I'll send you a link to such and such a free ebook or a free e-course or something. Give them a little reward. But you should also do that on your page where you're selling your questionnaire. Even though you're selling it for zero, it's still a sales page, even if you use a squeeze page. You want people to do the questionnaire. Do bribe them, because a lot of people don't want to spend the time. So bribe them with something to finish the questionnaire. In the tags here, click here to see the list of additional tags. So there it is, finally. So if it's for sales, it could be the sale ID or a thank you, a description of the sale, anything like that. The affiliate ID, and it could be the product ID. Like I said, if you're looking for names for a feedback on a product, you'd want to put in the product title and maybe the product ID, but definitely the product title. So you just add these tags here into the area where you want it to be. So you could say, hi, you bought, and then put the product ID tag in there. So it automatically will put the product ID in there. Blocking questionnaires. If you click this box, when you set up a questionnaire and you go to the thank you page, it will show the person, your customer, all of the information for the download first. So it'll have, if you have a product attached, it'll have the download for the product. It'll have information about affiliate programs or something that you attach. So it has all the information for that. If you click on blocking questionnaire, this will put the questionnaire first. So you don't have all of the other stuff because you want them to give you the questionnaire. And also, if you're using a questionnaire where you don't have any downloads, you want to click on blocking questionnaire, so that's the only thing that shows up on the download page. You want to click send from the customer's email. This is so you know where the questionnaire is coming from, because when they submit the questionnaire, you're going to get an email and telling them that the questionnaire has been submitted. So, of course, you want their email address so that you can contact them again. So do check that box. The notification email address, this is from your email address that you want to tell them that it's sent from. Delavo by default will send it from your Delavo installation. But if you would rather, especially in the case of a product, send it from an email address associated for your product. Like, I don't know how you guys have, but I have email addresses for all the products I create. So just for example, I might want to put in that the email is sent from DWWD headquarters at gmail.com. This is my business address. So I don't want it to look like it's sent from my Delavo, though it wouldn't really matter because my Delavo is my business, dlwalshmarketing.com. So, but you could sit there and you can put in any address you want here for the notification to let people know where, to tell people that it's coming from a different address other than Delavo. The notification, this is just a message that is sent from Delavo, and as you can see, it tells right here that a questionnaire has been submitted, and it tells you the data here. You can disable it or enable it. I always disable it because Delavo itself sends a ton of emails to anybody that registers in your Delavo system. They're going to get an email with their login codes, and then if they purchase a product, they're going to get information they're going to get a notification from that. If you've set up so this is attached to one of your autoresponders, like I always attach to a Weber, my autoresponder service, they're going to get a notice from that, and on and on and on. So they do get a lot of emails already, so you might not want to enable this. It's up to you. You can disable it just by clicking this box. In the notification deletion, if you click on that, it opens up another area where it tells you the questionnaire has expired. So it's up to you again if you want to do that. This would be for a time scheduled questionnaire. And again, you can disable it or enable it. By default, it is disabled. The API post, if you wanted to connect an API profile to this questionnaire, you could click on the select button, and a list of API profiles that will be on show on your computer, which I guess I haven't done it for this particular Delavo. But a post profile would show up, and you would just click on it to add it to your Delavo. Once you finish that, click on Save, because I don't want to lose any of the information. I want to make this where I don't have this long interface. So click on Save button, and it will save the questionnaire. And as you can see, it says the questionnaire. Now, in order to add items to the questionnaire, you could do it from the screen where the whole questionnaire shows, here, but I just wanted to show it without the edit message and the edit notification to make the screen a little bit easier. But you could do it from right here because the questionnaire items is right here at the bottom. So to add items to your questionnaire, click on Add New, and a new box will open up, and you'll be able to get a title. So you can put in a title like question 1 or whatever the question is. You can make it mandatory or not, and you can choose the type. There's different types. You can have text for 5 spaces, text for 20, text for 50 characters, text for 80, 40, 60, 80 in the text area for a list where they can select a radio button, a check button, or a multiple choice. Up to you what you want to do. Let's, for the first item, choose a text 50 box. And the list of values, since there isn't really any, it's just a text, click on Save. So now your first question is a text box. Now my second question, maybe I want to use a list. So put in a title for it, whatever your title will be. Again, you can make it mandatory or not mandatory. And I want to do a list with a radio button, say. So then I need to put the values in. So A, B, C, D, whatever values you want for your radio button. And they have to choose one or the other. So you can tell them, when you're asking for any kind of information where you can put in a range for A, a higher range for B, C, D, or you can ask them anything you want that they have to choose a radio button for. Or if you want them to select it, you can put in select, or if you wanted to do a checkbox and have these values be something that you want to ask them whatever applies to you. And I'm sure you guys have all seen questionnaires and surveys that ask you, check all the boxes that apply to you. So you can use the list for all of that. The select, the radio, the checkbox, or the multiple, anything that you want here. So just decide what you want. I usually have a text box, and then I give them a list value here of a radio button where maybe I'm asking for feedback, and I'll ask them which of the following is the most important to you, and then I'll do something like maybe list building or SEO or something like that, just so, because I'm asking people for more feedback about what my next product's going to be, and I want to give them a choice. So I do that. Or you could tell them in even a new one, say maybe a checkbox is, do a checkbox and ask them, A, B, C, D again, and ask them to check everything that applies to them. Do they want to learn about list building? What do you want to learn about list building? Do you want to list, anything you want to do, put in here. So I might maybe in my text box ask them, what do you want to learn about list building? And then I asked them in my ABCD, do you want to learn how to grow a list? Do you want to learn how to keep your list? Do you want to learn how to profit from your list? Anything like that. So I might give them those kind of choices in my list values checkbox, where they check off all they want to learn about. So I'm just going to click on Save. And whoops, I didn't put a title in for question 3. Question number 3. So you can add as many questions as you want to in this area, but don't make it too long, because the longer you make it, the less response you'll have. So just go in there and ask them for the information that you want. And once you do that, you've set up your questionnaire, and I'll show you what a questionnaire looks like in a few minutes. Then you need to add this questionnaire to your product. I'm going to click on this blocking questionnaire right now because I do want to talk about how to use this questionnaire to get feedback from your potential customers and your current customers and subscribers without having to have them buy a product. But once you set up your questionnaires, go to Store and Products, and you're going to set up a new product. So you're going to click on the Add New button. Now, I'm not going to do that because I have a list of test products, as you can see. So I'm just going to open up this example product 1 and use that as to show you guys what I'm doing. So when the product opens up, because this is a questionnaire, I'm going to write in what it is. So I would say it's a questionnaire here. I'll put a short description of it. But this is not mandatory because it's not going to be showing up, and I'll show you how it doesn't show up on your page, because you don't really want them to think that they're buying a product, even though they are. But then just put in 0.00 for the price. Since you don't have a payment option, you don't really have to put that in. But go all the way down here, past the digital delivery, until you get down here to where it says questionnaires. And this questionnaire is going to be the actual product for this product. This questionnaire is the product. So click on the select button and click on the questionnaire. Close this window. Now the questionnaire has been added. Down here is one-click order page. I'm going to show you guys how to use this so that you can use it as a for your to add onto your squeeze page, so it looks like the order page is actually the squeeze page. But for now, I'm not going to. I'm just going to click on the save button, or the easy way to do it, and the way I always do it, is click on one-click package. And that will automatically set up the package with the product attached. Otherwise, if you just save the product, then you need to set up a package and then attach the product to the package. So this is the package is set up, and it would have whatever the name of the product is as the title, which you can change. And you can have a normal package. You can do it locked. It's all products must be ordered, or an option where only one product can be ordered. Again, we're not going to have the product show up, so it doesn't matter. I do like to enable my Aweber integration, so I get these people into a specific list on my Aweber that tells me that they answered a questionnaire about whatever this questionnaire is. So, you can make a million lists on Aweber. I don't know if you guys have Aweber or something else, but I have had Aweber forever. So I do enable Aweber, and for my list name, it might be something like questionnaire, whatever the name of the questionnaire is here. I would put it as my list name, and therefore I knew that these people answered my questionnaire, and I have that data that I can now use to promote to those people specifically what they asked for in my questionnaire. So, this is a good way to laser target your audience so that you can actually create a product and then laser target it exactly to the people on this list, and you can promote it to them. Your chances of selling the product to them are going to be much greater because they actually told you what they want and you created the product for them. So I do use Aweber integration. There is a future manual that will show you how to change everything here so that you can use another third-party form. I do have the codes for get response. Right now I have them. The other codes, I will have to do some research on to find out the other ones. But if anybody has get response and would like to know the codes that you need to change for the URL and the parameters that you need, do send me an email and I will send you those if the autoresponder until the autoresponder manual is done, and that is down the road, probably not for a month or two. Anyhow, my email address is dwwdhq@gmail.com. So do send me an email if you want the get response codes. And then down here it says abandon order. You can check this if you want, so you know that people came and maybe filled in the information on your squeeze page, but it's not actually a squeeze page. It's going to be a sales page that you yourself have set up to look like a squeeze page by my method. By Andrew's method, he sets up a squeeze page, but his method uses 4 steps. For the customer, my method uses 2 steps. But if you want to know who abandoned the questionnaire before they actually filled it in, then enable the abandon area, and you could send them a message after X amount of hours, so maybe in 12 hours or 24 hours, and you could edit the message and ask them why they did not fill in the questionnaire if you want. So maybe you can get more people to take the questionnaire, and you could also include them to a follow-up list inside Delavo. Bulk payment has nothing to do with this. Here's the area we need options. We don't want the product interface to show up on the sales page. So click on the high products list on the sales page so it doesn't show up. There's no product listed on the sales page. For Andrew's method, he bypasses the second order page. So you would click on that button, and I'm going to show you his method as soon as we finish off this package information here. Before we do the surveys, I'll show you his method, and then I'll show you mine. But he does click on the bypass the second order page so that everything just goes into the one order page and then goes to the thank you page. You don't need to check consolidated thank you page because there's only one product. You would only click on that box, check that box if you had multiple products so that all of the downloads were on one page. And that's really all you need to do here. You know, you don't want to set up terms. You don't want to add anything here that's going to interfere with the information that you're asking for the questionnaire. So you really don't want to do that. You do want to override the default form though. So click on here to edit the form. And the only thing you want to ask for is the first name and the last name. So uncheck all of the boxes on the left. If you want to know maybe what country they're from, you could put that in. But I want this form to act exactly like a squeeze page looks like, where they enter their email address and their name only. You know, so that's all I'm going to do. And automatically there's going to be a box for them to add their email address. So the only thing I'm going to ask for is their first name and last name. And those are the 2 boxes that are mandatory, as you can see here on the right. So click on the Save button and then close this window. Then save to save the package. And if you ever want to look and see what your order pages look like, you can click on the Go button here on the order. Or in this case, this was the text package 2 that I had. You could go all the way, whoops, no, it wasn't. You go all the way down to the bottom and just click on the order page here. So it takes you to the order page. Now, that's how you set up the actual questionnaire. You set up the questionnaire first. You set up a product, attach the questionnaire to it, and then attach the product to a package, either by clicking on one-click package or by setting up a package separately and then adding the product to it. Well, that's how you do it. Now, let me show you how Andrew's done it and how it looks. This is what he does. This is his questionnaire. This is what he does in his instructions. The title is, this is his name, Systemic Success Members. And he's saying in order to have a successful online business, you need to be honest and tell the truth. Be transparent in your answers. If you really want the freedom and business you deserve, this is the only way I can help you. My time is extremely, and then it goes on to say valuable, blah, blah, blah. So he blocks the questionnaire. He wants the questionnaire response sent from the customer's email, and he wants the notification email address sent from his Gmail account here. He doesn't edit the message. He doesn't edit the submission or the deletion, and he doesn't have an API post. And then the questionnaire items he has put in are text box. This is the title. What is the single biggest search reason you decided to register? What do you want to learn and implement the most in the next 30 days? And in your opinion, what must happen for you to feel this was wildly successful? And all three questionnaires items that he's asked are text, so that they respond to a text question. So let me show you exactly what his method looks like. Okay. This is the flow. He set up a simple squeeze page. Of course, it would be prettied up with all the information. So, and then it says, check this out, and you put in your email address. So I'm going to put in my email address, click on get started, and the squeeze page would take you to the sales page, which of course there isn't one. So he just writes in awesome and writes continue. So here's the second step. And then it takes you to the order information, which is the test questionnaire and amount. And then he says you're going to obtain test questionnaire. It is free. Press the button below to proceed. And he gets it. And by the way, you can remove this information here on the template, which is what I do. So it just has the order information and the payment information. I will show you in a future manual and a future session about editing the templates, how to remove this stuff here. So all I would have was the order information and then the payment information to get it. So once you get it, now this was his third step. Once you get it, here he comes to the questionnaire, which is fourth step. And this is his thank you page. So people click in and enter their information here. The information that he entered in his instructions shows at the top. And it says, what is the single business reason? People type in their name. People type in there. And then they click on submit form. And he gets an email with these people's answers so that he knows, and because it's getting sent from their email address, he knows who sent it. So that's his method. Okay. Now my computer was acting up a little bit this morning because it's really windy here in Las Vegas. But here's what I do. I set up my questionnaire, set it up in my product package, and in my package, let's just click on example product here. On my package, this is what I'm using as my questionnaire. And I set up a one-click order page. Whoops, it's on the product. Sorry, it's in the product form. Well, anyway, in this case, I do hide the products on the sales page. I don't need to bypass the second order page because I've only got one page. So let me save that, but you do want to hide the products because you don't want it to show up on the page. So I'm going to go to the product for this. It's in this package. And at the bottom is a one-click order page. What did I do? I went into the package again. No, here it is. I went too far. I want to click on one-click order page. Now, when you set up a one-click order page, what it does is it puts the first and the second order page larger. And I'm being asked the question, can the fonts be larger? They can be, but you need to go in and make them larger in the templates, okay? So you need to actually go into the template itself and change the text size. And I'll show you that in just a second. But anyhow, you set up a one-click order page, and what the one-click order page is it shows you the first and the second order page in one order form. So since I want this to look like my, like it actually is a squeeze page, I want to use a one-click order page so that my first and second order pages are combined into one page. So that means that the name and everything the name where Andrew used a squeeze page to get the email address and a second squeeze page for their name. The order page to get their name. I do that in one. I get their email address and their name all in one, and it looks more like a actual squeeze page. I don't have that second page where his squeeze page goes on to his sales page. What I do is I use my sales page as a squeeze page. So I get this information and I get a script, a JavaScript. You take that information and you copy and paste it into your sales page after your sales copy for your questionnaire, and that will show up on, well, you put this onto your sales page where you want the one-click order page to go. But what you also can do, and what I do in the package is an order link is an INC, which means include. When I click on the include button, I get a JavaScript that's an incorporated order page. So everything is there on the order page. I click this and add this into my HTML page, and so then it has the order page all in one. So it's on my sales page that I'm using as a squeeze page. It has the information that this is a product. It shows exactly what it looked like when Andrew used his second order page. What it does is it combines this. Whoops, I gotta add it combines this, bypasses this page because I'm using my sales page, which this is, as my squeeze page, and it combines that squeeze page email with the information here, which will ask for their first and last name. So right here it will ask for their first and last name, which I want. I don't want just their email address. I want their first and second name. So I want that information here, and then they can get it. So I use, like I said, my squeeze page, my order page, my sales page as my squeeze page, just like a normal squeeze page where you ask for the email address and their name only. Now, some marketers don't believe that you need people's names for your list. I want to know the person's name. So I do want to know their name. I want to get their name here. So the first page where the email address is and this order form are going to be together, and what it's going to ask here for is their email address, their first name and their last name, and then they fill that in and then they can get it. Now I've got their email address, I've got their first name, I've got their last name. I've added them to my when I set up the package, I added them to my Weber account, so I've got them on a list. When they click on the button, so this is what's going to show up on my order page, on my sales page. Just this, nothing else, not the other two steps. I don't need them. It's just this is all that's going to show up on my sales page. So you bypass two steps, and then all they need to do is fill in their email address, their name, just like a regular squeeze page, and click on Get It. And then they'll go directly to the questionnaire. Now, the reason I like to use my method over Andrew's is his has 4 steps, mine has 2. Mine's a little more involved because you need to use the inclusion to put it onto your page, but 4 steps versus 2. What has more chance of abandonment? 4 steps or 2 steps? The more steps that you put your customer and your affiliate through, the more likely they are to abandon it. And I'm sorry that I don't have a sample to show you guys. But like I said, my computer is acting up this morning. I had connection problems because of the high winds here in Las Vegas today. So it took me forever just to connect, so I didn't have time to set it up. But if you guys want to see that set up, I will do a short manual showing both of these methods and put it into the members area so you can see that. Okay, so after that, does anybody have any questions about setting up a questionnaire? Let me unmute anybody. And if you have any questions about a questionnaire, ask it now because we're going to go on to surveys. No questions? Oh, okay. I forgot to show you how to do the templates. Okay, let's go to the example package. And on the template on the bottom, it depends on if you're using a squeeze page or a sales page. I'm using a sales page, so I check this customize button and I edit the page. And in here you can put the body tag attributes. So increase your text by putting in the text size in your body tag attributes. Okay, so does that answer your question about how to make the text larger? So your text will become larger there. And this is what your sales page would look like. The form, the package title, the items, and all this information. But you can put, just like I said, put in a body tag attributes to raise your text. Okay. Okay, no questions on questionnaires. Okay, let's go to surveys, which is very similar. Go to plugins, surveys. Whoops, I lost it. Let me go back to my other. I have 2 test Delavos, so let me go to this one where a survey hasn't been set up. The survey was set up in the packages for when I wrote in my other Delavo for when I wrote the manual. So this one here doesn't have. This is actually my my Delavo just for the Delavo live sessions. As you can see here, over here on the right, it says it's Delavo live sessions. Whoops. I guess I did set a survey up in this one. Maybe let's go to this one and see if it has a survey set up. Yep, I got surveys set up in both of them. Okay. Well, you would get a box that didn't have anything, just an add new, so you would click on the add new button. In this case, since I have a survey set up, I'm going to click on the pencil icon to edit it. And you would put your survey in there. If you have specific administrators on your Delavo, if you have a partner or something and you only want certain people to see it, click on the select button. It opens up a box of everybody that's on your Delavo. Click on who you want to see the survey. In my case, that's me. And close the window. And it adds me as I'm the only administrator that can see the collected data. If it's only you, you don't have to worry about it because it's only you that can see it. Then you want to give them a introductory message, which is going to be displayed on the first page. So again, you can tell them something about the survey, do anything that you want. Now here's the part that I really like about surveys. This again is going to show up on the thank you page only. I like to, once they complete the survey, I want to direct them to a product, or maybe I'll direct them to a free download. So after the survey is filled in, I can redirect them. So type in a URL to where you would like to redirect them, because you're not actually giving them product on the thank you page. The only thing on this thank you page is the survey. So just put the survey on the thank you page. And then redirect them to a URL where you can pitch a product to them based on the survey, or give them a free product for filling in the survey. And you could also tell them that in the introductory message that once they fill in the survey that they'll receive a valuable ebook, name the ebook, and then redirect them to it. And then you can display a message after the form is filled. Thanks for filling in this form, etc., etc. If you want to password protect the survey, you can enter a password and then give them, the people that you want to serve to complete the survey, give them the password so that they need to use the password in order to access the survey. You can enable CAPTCHA for the survey if you want, and if you enable that, again, they would have to say that they're a real person, not a robot. And you can archive the answer survey after a certain amount of days, and then you can allow your users to submit the same survey again, maybe in 7 days. So you could tell them in the introductory message that you're going to do something to help them during once they answer these surveys, and then you're going to submit the survey again to them so they can fill out how they've learned or how they've progressed. So you could archive the answer survey after 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, whatever, and then they would get the same survey again and they could give you different answers. Now, in order to get the survey on the thank you page, you need to include this tag on the actual thank you page of the product. So you would take this page, you would take this and put it on the thank you page of the product, and I'll show you how to do that as soon as I show you how to set up the items in the survey, the questions in the survey. So the questions I add, you just add add a question. You can add a page break between each question. You can do the ups and downs on the question. It's up to you. Now, I set this up for the manual that I wrote, so I didn't want to get real involved. But you can ask them anything ask them anything, and they get a text box where they have to fill in the answer to the question. You could put a page break between each because it looks different in the so that they don't flow, that there's a page break between each one. If you don't know what a page break is, it looks like a line in between the questions, so you can separate it. And I'll show you what it looks like. I'll open up the manual to show you. And you can add as many questions as you want in a page break. So the difference between a questionnaire and a survey is a questionnaire, you can actually use radio buttons, text buttons, check boxes, all that kind of stuff. With the survey, you're specifically asking them for a single text type answer. What's your name? And anything that you want to put in there. How long have you been in internet marketing? You don't want any involved questions in a survey. You only want 1 or 2 word answers. So if you want more involved answers, use a questionnaire, not a survey. So once you have that, you need to add the survey 1 to this tag, survey 1, to the thank you page of the product. So you set up the product, you set up the survey, then you go back and you set up a product just like you did before. I just want to make sure I have that. So go to store products, set up the products just like you did before, except that now you don't have to add anything except that your product will say that it's a survey. Again, it will be 0. You'll have 00 for the item, and you don't attach it here because it's only going to show up on the thank you page. Again, I use the one-click order page to get everything onto one page, and I use the INC of the package to let's go here to the ink inclusion, so that I include all the information onto my my squeeze page type sales page. So anyhow, once you have set up the product, you need to make sure that it shows up on the thank you page. So you need to go to the package, and let's click on test package here. And my text product, there would not be a product here at all. There would not be a product. Well, the product would be survey. And you come all the way down here, and where it says thank you page, you click on the customize button, edit the page, and at the very bottom, and it has to be at the bottom, it won't show up anywhere else, you add that tag at the very bottom, and it's survey 1. So let's see, was that capital or not? I don't remember. Yeah, it's all capitalized. So at the very bottom, you would enter survey 1 and save it. If you don't put that at the very bottom and you don't add this tag to the thank you page, it will never show up on the survey, will never show up on the thank you page. So click on save changes, and that survey that I just set up will now show on the thank you page for this product. Okay, so let me just quick open up the package, the questionnaire manual that I wrote. let's see, where is it? It's in Store, Questionnaires. And well, that opens up. Does anybody have any questions on surveys or questionnaires? This is the manual that you'll find in the Delavo Delavo forum that shows you how to set up the questionnaire. I don't have one set. I think there's one set up for surveys, but it just sets you up, walks you through everything that I talked about here, and a little bit step in step. But here's what the survey looks like on the order page. When you finish it off, this is what it looks like. This is two different types of questionnaires. This questionnaire had a text box. This questionnaire had a check box. This questionnaire had another very long text box. So that's one type of questionnaire. This type of questionnaire, which is something like John used when he wanted to know the domain name when you're setting up your Delavo, is this. It's just a text box that asks for the domain name and it's submitted. So if you only need one question, you can, do that. And as you can see by the red asterisk, these are mandatory fields. This field 3 here would not have anything. I didn't really say anything about why people should do this questionnaire. This is just an example. But this is what it would look like when on the actual sales, on the actual thank you page. You get your form here, and all of, you fill in your form, you fill in that form there. Now the survey manual, I thought I wrote one on survey, but that would be in plugins. As you can see, I have a lot of stuff for manuals. No, I didn't write one on the survey yet. When I write one on the survey, I'll show you guys how to do that. But anyhow, that's how you set up a questionnaire. That's how you set up a survey. Does anybody have any questions? Let me unmute you. So if you have a question, you can ask for it. And if not, you can type it into the text into the chat box for I can see. Okay, I don't see any questions at all. Okay, blocking a questionnaire, just make sure that the questionnaire shows above. Jerry's asking me to explain blocking a questionnaire. When you block a questionnaire, it's not really blocking a questionnaire, it's a block questionnaire. It's not blocking it. What it does is it shows the questionnaire before the content of the thank you page. So when you normally have a questionnaire, say, as along with a product, it will give you the downloads for the product, etc. first, and then show you the questionnaire. If you click on the block questionnaire box, what it does is it puts the questionnaire before the other content of the thank you page. Does that answer your question, Jerry? Yes, okay. Okay, does anybody else have any questions? Okay, let me see. Is it possible to make a standalone survey or questionnaire on any type of package? This is what Eric is asking me. And Eric, the answer is no. I did ask John if it was possible when I started writing the manual, and he said currently not. So I don't know if that means he has plans alone, plans for the future, or not. But as it is today, you can only do the questionnaire and the survey on the thank you page. Okay, so does that answer your question, Eric? again, I'm not sure what's going, what's going to be in 3. I mean, that's a long way away till 3. So I am at all the questions that you guys give me here. I do relay to John so that he can think about what people are asking, what people are wanting. So actually, you guys are serving are his survey through me. So when you ask me questions and I convey them to John, I'm just the middle person. I am the questionnaire and the survey for John. Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? No? Okay, I'm going to then pause the recording